have your neighbor pull your, unless you can pull it off yourself, pull your card off, and I give you 30 seconds just to read your comments, and I'll be quiet. So you guys in Long Island, Westchester, maybe you've already done it, but just, take a look at the comments that were written on your card. That'd be good. And everybody here, just read it and digest it.
Rick, why'd you write I'm loving and caring? It's a little weird, dude.
Yeah. So
who's got my pet? Likes walks on the beach.
Pina coladas. Now, what I want you to do on your card, next to your name, write your disc profile. So if you're an S, write S. If you're a C, write C. If you're a D, write D. Write your disc profile next to your name on your card. And as you look at your profile and knowing which one you are, and you look at the comments that were written on your card, what I want you to do is kind of show of hands how many people was the descriptions on the back of your card in sync with the profile that you are. Show of hands. How many people was it pretty accurate? So for the most part, I didn't see you guys. How many of you in Long Island, Westchester was pretty close to your disc profile?
Yeah, they're not.
They can't hear. Okay, that's okay. So for most of us, we did a pretty good job of reading who you were, which is awesome. What I was hoping for. Let me ask you this: as you look at those comments on your card, who's got something that other than likes long walks on the beach? Who has something kind of surprising when you look at your card? Yeah, what do you have that kind of surprised you?
I got one outlier. Somebody who spent time with me, not at work.
Uh-huh.
So there's probably a lot of that judgment as well. Besides just knowing me.
What was it? Yeah. So what was it? What was written?
Talker.
Talker.
Yeah.
And so are you an I?
No.
You're not an I, and put talker down. Interesting. Interesting. Who else has something surprising on their sheet that when you look at it, you go, wow, that's not me. All right, it just didn't hit you right. Nobody? So we did a pretty accurate job. How about in Westchester? Can you guys hear me? No, okay. Oh, you got one? Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, so you have something?
I got Carrie.
Carrie? So you're not Carrie?
Does that surprise you?
You're a D. Yeah, so D and Carrie, those are opposite, right? If you look on this chart, anything that's opposite is the most different, right? So D's and C's are a little bit more similar. They're less people. Where the I's and the S's are more people-oriented kind of people. So sometimes they're kind of hard to figure out. What would be the difference if you met someone who's kind of a people person? How would you distinguish the S from the I? So if you realize they're below the line, if this is above the line is D's and C's, how would you determine?
The I would probably be making a decision a lot quicker than the S.
Yes.
The S wants to take its time and not be rushed.
Yeah, but we want to figure it out before we get to that point in the sale, right?
Yeah.
I want to know whether they're a DIS or C as quick as. That's why I did this 3-minute thing, because you got to size people up and make a decision. Lou.
I's are more about themselves. S's are more, how can I make you feel?
Awesome. So I'll repeat that if you didn't hear it. I's are more about me. S's are all about you, right? So they're that caring, right? That word that you had on yours, that caring side is more the S. So the S is a softer version of an I, and they're more them focused. I's are more me focused. So the I will be telling the story. So what we want to do is know. So we got how to kind of size people up. What you want to start doing is literally even write a note down. And all you do is write a letter. Your best guess in the first 5 minutes of the call. Like when you walk from the front where you're talking to them, you're in the garage. They may still be in the garage. You may be looking around. Write down a note, of your best guess as to what they are. And then we're going to take it and we're going to do a couple other things with the 20 minutes remaining. I thought it'd be a cool exercise, and if the guys in Long Island and Westchester can take a sheet, and it can even be an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and just write D, C, S, and I, and make a quadrant. And what we're going to do, which would be kind of cool, I'm going to have you guys come up. I'm going to give you a marker. Write your name in the proper quadrant. Don't write it too big because we may have a lot of S's or a lot of I's. And I'm going to leave this here. And for the managers that are here, this is an awesome tool that I'm going to leave you with to understand your own people, right? On one sheet of paper. And so write your name neatly. And I'm going to leave this little thing up in the office somewhere. So let me get to you. And coming up, just kind of make a line. If you guys look out of Westchester, again, take a sheet of 8.5 by 11, or if you have poster-sized paper, make a quadrant, and you write D, I, S, and C, and write your names in the right quadrant. Here, I'll get a couple markers going. We can use for the D, for the I's, if you're an I, who's the I? Who's the C? You're an I, it's the C. Here we go, here's the blue. So we got a couple markers. For I's. As you can
Is that on my back?
Just the two of us.
Yeah, we're gonna forget about it and go through the rest of our day with that shit on
That's
our
why I'm trying to get it off now. Where is it?
Is this it? No. Is that it? No.
That's not this.
Where's mine?
Yours
I'm
fell off.
assuming they can hear us though.
This meeting's just
Yeah.
as good as when Vince used to run them.
Oh, man. They could hear you.
I don't think so.
No, like Jersey.
With the D. We can make it if we try.
Hello?
Hey, Brian. Brandon said we should just leave.
Did you really?
Yeah. You guys just want to hang out?
I can't make that.
thing. With the C's, give them the details. I like the idea of just pulling out that your thing with the parts in it to show them. And if they're kinesthetic type C's, they want to touch and feel those things. And they feel the weight difference of your kind of parts versus the garbage they have on the door. That makes a big difference to them, right? Where the D, they're not going to care as much about that, right? The actual touching and feeling. They just want to know, hey, can you get this fixed today? Get it done so it's working, and I don't have to worry about it. Lastly, I'm going to give you the don'ts. I'm going to leave you with the don'ts because it's important to know the do's, but how about the don'ts? D's, don't be late. There's nothing that drives a D more nuts. For D's in the room, and we had a couple of them on the chart, does it drive you nuts when people are late or you're late? Are you one of these timely kind of people? I know that D, that's part of the D in me. Man, I like even get here, I'm in the parking lot way before I need to be in here because I cannot stand being late, and I don't like when people hold me up. Like I have 4 meetings after this today, and if one person messes me up, then I can be late for the next one. So don't be late. Don't be too talkative, right? D's don't want to hear your story. They really don't care about you, believe me. They care about one person then. Don't spend time on non-essentials, right? Just get to the net it out. I look at D's, net it out. What do I need to know to make a decision? And let me go. Where the I's, you can go into the details a little more relative than the D. Or actually, excuse me, these are the don'ts. Don't go into the details with the I. They don't care, right? The I's are not looking at spec sheets. They don't care about the nuances. And don't react negatively, right? Don't go there and go, oh, my God, this is a total nightmare, your garage door. Don't do that with the I. They want the positiveness on how you can fix it, not, the pain. Don't pressure the S's. Any feel of pressure to an S, they backfire, right? The wall goes up. If you got the wall down at the beginning and then you pressure them at the end, that wall's going to go right up. Same with the C's. They're both the same with that. Don't fail to deliver on your promises. That almost goes back to, hey, I'm going to be there in a half hour. Get there in a half hour. And if you got there in 25 minutes, the S appreciates that because you delivered on your promise, right? Because they're all about that assurance and trust that this person is going to do what they say. The C's, don't touch them. Don't touch their stuff. You can touch the garage door, but the C's, how many C's in the room? Who's the C? Right? Would you agree with that? You don't like people coming up and, sometimes the I's are a little bit more touchy. Hey, how you doing? And you're not a big hug guy, I guess. Again, like the S's, don't pressure them. So hopefully this helped. Let me ask, we got a couple remaining minutes. I always like to do some lessons learned. Who's coming out of here with some lessons where, if something clicked in your head? How is this class going to help you today and tomorrow and the next day? Yeah.
Going back to Stephen Covey, seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Mm-hmm. So seek first to understand. So seek and understand. I want to understand how they think. And what's good about this is like the cliff notes of how people think, right? If I can size them up, figure out they're a D, boom, I know the do's and don'ts. I know how to react with them to better connect. And the reason why we want to connect with them is what? And so we build rapport. So we match and mirror. That's what we do. But the objective is to build rapport, and that's where trust is built, and people buy from people they trust. People tend to like people who are like them, so that's where we got to flex and match and mirror. I had some other exercises we'll do some other time that are really cool. Just to give you a heads up. So we practiced today picking up on others. Did some work reiterating some of the characteristics of the D's, I's, S's, and C's. The other thing I'd like to do, where I have these cards, D's, I's, S's, and C's, where another time we come back, I'm going to have you pick a card, and let's say you picked a C. What are you?
S.
You're an S. So he picks a C, and then out of this card he picks a scenario, and he's got to act like a C for this scenario. So this scenario says, describe how you act at a social event if you're a C, right? And it just helps connect it, because the harder part of this, the easy part is understanding. The next harder thing is picking up on the others. The hardest part is how do I adjust my natural way, if I'm an S, to be like a C? How difficult would that be, right? It's a little tough to do it. And that's where Sandler says sales is a Broadway play put on by a psychiatrist. We understand the psychology, right? This is a lot of psychology. But to be able to act like a C if you're an S, that's a little easier than acting like a D if you're an S, right? Because an S and a D are opposites, right? So in the opposite, if you're a D and you're meeting with an S, that's a difficult thing. So your ability to act on the fly is really what we got to be able to do. So we'll do that in the future. Any other lessons learned? How about this side of the room? What are the new guys? What
First
clicked?
exercise we did was great. You know, it was to start out the ISCs.
Yeah. So that just, and my reason for that is just getting us thinking, right? And coming up with those. That's how we get it inside us, right? We got to go from knowing to owning, and the more you work with it, the more you start to own it. So with that, what I'd ask you to do when you're on the road this week and report back next week, just write DISC, your best guess. When you meet with people, it'd be interesting if I polled you guys to see, on the population that you met with, how many D's, I's, S's, and C's did you meet with? So keep a little log of that as it goes during the week. For the managers on the call, if you can reinforce that during the week, just ask the guys, hey, you just came out of a call. What was your best guess? What were they? Because we got to make it top of mind. The second question I would ask is, so what did you do to adjust to that D or that I that you met with? What did you do different? Because that's the magic. So hopefully we upped our game a little bit on the disc by working this, and you'll have a good week. See you next week.
Thank you.